Last year, in June of 2019, David Dobrik launched his new Instagram page called David's Disposables. He posted unedited and in-the-moment type of photos from a disposable camera. His fans really loved the account because it felt like a more personal and less staged viewing experience. Then, in December of 2019, David Dobrik launched his new app called Disposable. This app turned your back camera into a disposable camera. Instead of seeing the photos instantly, when you took a picture, you had to wait 24 hours until you were able to see what you took the day before. Kinda just like how a disposable camera works, hence the name. As most of you know, recently, Instagram users haven't been too happy with the platform. Instagram kind of feels like it's becoming a marketplace for advertisers and less of a place to view your favorite accounts, friends, celebrities, and creators' photos. I feel like David and his team noticed this shift in Instagram, and now they want to make the disposable app the next big thing. In the last few months, David has been hiring designers and app developers to help build up his app and take it into a different direction. They want people to actually be able to have public profiles and be able to follow and direct message their friends via the app. He's actually managed to get some huge names to financially back his app, like the Chainsmokers, some members of the Vlog Squad, Sofia, and SeatGeek. This week, David announced probably his biggest backer yet. The co-founder of Reddit invested $4 million into the app. Back in September, when David was hiring people to work on his app, someone decided to apply via TikTok. TikTok is a great way to get your name out there and get noticed, especially since David actively uses the app. The TikToker is named Kareem, and he posted multiple TikToks pretty much sharing his ideas on how he would improve the app. Now, let me just tell you guys, Kareem had a ton of amazing ideas. He literally created a blueprint of what he wanted the app to be, and just from his 4 60-second videos, you could tell his idea had a ton of potential. He also tells David that he needs to drop the name Disposable and just call the app Dispo.
David Dobrik is up to something. He's working on a platform where you and your friends can post photos that are taken in the moment, unedited, unfiltered, building off of David's Disposable, an app that literally just mimics a disposable camera, but now he's turning this thing into a full-fledged social media platform. He's hiring designers, so I designed it. This TikTok is actually my job application, but here's the catch. You're gonna decide if I get the gig or not. If I want this to work, I'm gonna need the support of wholesome TikTok. Tag David Dobrik, get this on his For You page. I'm leaving the fate of my dream job in your hands, but don't let me tell you why I'm the guy for this job. Let me show you. Part 2 is already up. Oh, and David, drop the posable. Just dispo. It's cleaner.
Fans of David loved the idea, and they started tagging him in the TikTok, hoping for Kareem to get noticed and hopefully get hired by David's team. Well, the power of social media seemed to work because David commented and said, "Dude, when you said Dispo, I literally screamed, this is so dope, we'll be reaching out." Natalie and David did end up reaching out to Kareem, but unfortunately they decided to go in a different direction. They said they would keep him in mind for future projects, and overall the interaction between the two was civil and ended on good terms.
You all helped me apply to a position with David Dobrik. I pitched a concept, designed, and even proposed a name for a platform that hundreds of thousands of you wanted. Well, thanks to wholesome TikTok, David and Natalie saw the designs and name and loved them. We had a brief correspondence, I spoke with the team, and they are going in a different direction.
Kareem then announced on TikTok that he was going to go on and create his own disposable camera app using his ideas since David didn't want them.
So I'm making it myself. Or better yet, we are making it. David, I wish you the best, bro. I know you're going to cook up something amazing. And so are we. You all wanted this platform. So I'm proud to announce that development has already begun. A platform centered around authenticity and true human expression. No gimmicks. So in the coming few weeks, as we build towards a truly social platform, you can get involved as much or as little as you choose. Together, let's make the platform that we want to see.
Well, 6 days after Kareem's first TikTok, David rebranded the disposable app to Dispo, which, as we know, was Kareem's idea. David even made a new Instagram page for the app called Dispo HQ. Fans of David were actually really upset with him for taking Kareem's idea, not hiring him, and then using the name anyways. People started digging around the internet and found out David trademarked the name on September 24th, only 5 days after Kareem pitched the idea to call the app Dispo. But here's the part that doesn't really make sense. If you guys have ever tried to trademark a name before, you'll know it doesn't get approved within 5 days. It's normally a much longer process. The paparazzi actually ended up stopping David and asked him to comment on the situation. David claims when he saw Kareem mention Dispo, he commented saying that he was literally screaming because he was just so excited that someone else was excited as he was for the app. He also reveals he actually registered the name Dispo back in June, months before Kareem's TikTok.
Okay. We registered that name in Dispo. We registered that name in June.
Yeah.
You can Google that. That's like public information.
Okay.
And then he came up with the idea. That was our idea.
Yeah.
In September. He posted that, and I commented on it because I was so surprised anybody was as excited about the app as we were.
Yeah.
So I had my team reach out. I think he was super sweet, but he just didn't have enough experience for what we were doing, and that's why we didn't go with it. But we wanted to keep it in mind for other things.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't take the name. If there's anything I pride myself is in being authentic and being original, and the last thing I would ever do is steal someone else's idea.
I mean,
I have my word on that.
If I had to take a guess at this situation, I think David probably said he was screaming at Kareem's name idea because that's the name they already planned to change it to, and that confirmed to him it was the right move. So, what do you guys think of David's new app idea? Do you think it was just all a misunderstanding and a coincidence that Kareem picked the exact same name? This week, a beauty guru named Cole Kerrigan has been exposed for allegedly trying to scam people on Instagram. Cole has been offering paid promos on his Instagram to help promote small creators and businesses. This is a really popular way for people with large followings on Instagram to earn some extra cash. Personally, I don't really love this way of promoting people, mainly because it's really easy for people to get scammed, and a lot of the people that do these paid promos don't actually have genuine audiences that actually interact with them. Well, a few people have come forward and claimed that Cole has scammed them. Apparently, a few girls paid Cole for a promo and he never got around to actually posting their promotion. One girl said, "I saw that Cole was doing Instagram shoutouts, so I decided to message him. I wanted to surprise my fiance, who is a tattoo artist, and have Cole promote his page. Cole immediately messaged me back and said it was $100, but he usually charges $1,000 and that he'd keep it up for 24 hours. That should have been my first hint that this was a scam. But I still continued and sent him the $100 on Cash App. I then sent him proof that I sent my money along with a picture of my fiance's most popular tattoo and a link to his Instagram. A few hours later, Cole messaged me back saying my fiance's work was insane and asked if I wanted to add a swipe up link. I was thrilled at this point. I thought it was going to be a huge surprise for my fiance. But then I got no response for days. I waited patiently while seeing him post about taking private jets to Vegas, partying all weekend, and even doing shoutouts for other people. I was starting to feel scammed. So I caused a stir on Instagram with my best friend. He finally responded saying, "I lost you in my DMs. I get hundreds of DMs a day. Like, why would you offer shoutouts if you can't keep track?" Obviously a scam. He then posted some random photo from my fiance's tattoo page, not the photo I sent him, and then took it down a few hours later. Remember, he promised 24 hours. It honestly seemed like he knew he scammed me and just rushed to my fiance's tattoo page and posted something right away. I was grateful until the messages from other people who got scammed came in. So many messages of girls. I started an Instagram group chat where we all shared our story. One girl is out $300. I couldn't believe it. I'm lucky to have got my shout out, but I truly believe he is scamming people left and right. Another girl who paid for a shout out pretty much has a very similar story. She paid him, he never did it, and she had to message him for days until he finally refunded her money. So yeah guys, it seems like Cole is only refunding people that are taking things public. People literally had to message him for days asking for him to post the promo and then asking him for their money back. Not to mention, Cole asked for the money to be sent through PayPal, friends and family, which means the sender can't dispute the charge with PayPal. I think his excuse ended up being that their messages got lost because he was getting so many DMs, but it's like, if you're offering a service to people who are paying you during a pandemic with their hard-earned money to hopefully see some kind of turnaround from it, that's a business, and simply saying, oh sorry, your message got lost, doesn't exactly work in the real world. So what do you guys think about Cole allegedly trying to scam people? Do you think it was an honest mistake and their messages actually got lost, or do you think he was deliberately trying to scam these people? If you guys are into podcasts, you might be familiar with Call Her Daddy. Back in 2018, two friends, Alex and Sofia, made a podcast together where they talked about, well, everything but mostly sex. A year later, Barstool Sports picked up the show and it took off overnight. I kind of feel like you either absolutely love Call Her Daddy or you absolutely hate it. There's really no in between because it's definitely not for everyone. Alex and Sofia were doing really good together and they kind of balanced each other out. Call Her Daddy quickly rose to #1 on the podcast charts and was doing absolutely amazing. Between merch sales and downloads, they were making bank. But that's where the problems start. Alex and Sofia weren't exactly making bank. Barstool Sports was because of the 3-year contract that they signed. The contract stated they would make $75,000 yearly and $100,000 after 3 years. They would also get paid extra for downloads. For two girls in their early 20s working jobs they hated previously, this would sound like an absolutely amazing deal. But you know what they say, more money, more problems. They had people in their ear telling them that they were making way below industry standard and they were essentially getting taken by Barstool. Alex and Sofia were actually pretty off to learn they were making less money than they deserved and decided to kind of fight back. Barstool then came at the girls with a new offer, $500,000 a year, and they could leave their contract early and have the IP for Call Her Daddy. To everyone's surprise, they rejected the offer. I won't bore you with all the details, but apparently Alex wanted to take the deal and Sofia didn't and wanted to keep pushing Barstool for more. Allegedly, she was taking her boyfriend's advice, and turns out it wasn't good advice because Sofia left Barstool and Alex went on to continue Call Her Daddy as a single father. Alex also posted a long YouTube video explaining the drama from her side, and Sofia was labeled greedy, selfish, and pretty much every name you can think of. Well, it's been months and Sofia has finally broken her silence. She dropped her own podcast called Sofia with an F and spilled all of the tea from her point of view. Sofia claims she left on her own accord because she felt undervalued and not because a man told her to leave. She claims she made her own jokes and Alex had someone script hers, which is why Alex didn't feel comfortable doing live shows. She says Alex went behind her back many times to try and get more money, but somehow Sofia was the one who was labeled as money hungry. She also talks about how shitty it was for Alex to make Sofia out as a lazy business partner that didn't do any work because Alex did the editing and she didn't. Sofia thinks she brought a lot of personality and humor to the Call Her Daddy podcast and values that trait more than a learnt skill of editing. Sofia also had quite a few big name sponsorships considering it's her first solo podcast ever. She had HelloFresh and Function of Beauty, and those are two companies that actually sponsor the Call Her Daddy podcast. So that was definitely interesting. But yeah, I don't know where I stand now. At first, when Alex came out with her side, I was Team Alex, and Sofia just seemed like this horrible person to work with. But that's why it's so important to wait until you hear both sides before making an opinion. I also saw some people slamming Sofia, saying it sounded like she was reading from a script, but it's like, come on guys. She was in her mom's closet, her first time recording alone, addressing a major drama to tons of people that probably dislike her, and will also be overanalyzing what she says. Of course she's gonna write out a script. I'm just kind of interested to see where her podcast goes now and how Sofia grows on her own. Honestly, all of this podcast talk and drama lately makes me wish I had my own podcast. But anyways guys, what do you guys think about Sofia with an F? Do you think the drama between the two will continue, or are you low-key hoping for a reunion?